Is this thing on? Are we live? Is it loaded? Hello? Are you gonna start? Oh, there it goes. Wow, it's on. Hi, everybody. How's it going? Tatman Dan just became a member. Wow. A fancy member even. Thank you. And welcome to the club. Where Bobbert was looking at another page when that whisper came through. Wow. Robbie Stingle's here. T-Bird's here. IH just finished watching today's video. Live and in person. Well, not in person, but live, yes. The Midnight Mechanic is here. How's it going? Excuse me. Just ate some crackers and cheese. How's it going? Long day today? Man, I had a long day of doing nothing. Actually, that's not entirely true. What did I do? Oh, I helped move a giant sandworm head from the house of the lady that made it to the theater. That was fun. And then TRX battery was dead. It was locked. Had to figure out a way to get into that, which was fun. Not Tremors, no. Beetlejuice. And then while I was messing with that, the neighbor's son has an F-250 over here that he shows up and messes with on the weekends sometimes. And it always sounds like poop. And I've been meaning to tell him, hey, I think your firing order's off. Oh, T-Bird did the thing. No, TRX with a dead battery after sitting overnight. There's something wrong with it that I thought we had fixed. Anyway, neighbor guy, I've been meaning to tell him, hey, I think your firing order's wrong. Who hasn't moved a giant sandworm head? So anyway, I fixed it for him. I set the firing order right, and then it wouldn't run at all. And then I set it wrong, and it wouldn't run at all. There are two Ford 302/351 firing orders, and his engine is either a 351. It looks like a 302 to me, or it's an HO cam. Anyway, fixed it. It was 180 out, and then they had flipped a bunch of wires to like make it kind of run. So got it running mint, and then he tested it up and down the road, and it sounded all great. No more popping, and then it did a burnout. So that was good. Johnny Grassa, do the neighbors get pissy with you doing burnouts and stuff? Well, luckily the neighbors occasionally do burnouts and stuff too. So, so far, no. Blue oval things. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Ford firing order stuff. So that's a lesson I've learned a couple times. Goofy stuff. Anyway, tonight's libation. Incline Blackberry, which I almost just dumped all over my desk. Thankfully did not. I almost had an actual beer, but I didn't. I helped a Ford neighbor. Good on you. The dad, asked me once about helping with either the son's truck or maybe his other Ford or something. And I was like, unfortunately, I am not a Ford guy. But then, I don't know, I just felt obligated to help with this. And there I was, got it firing on 8 finally, and set the idles by ear, and then I set the speed, and I rev it, and I do the choke thing, and I don't want to call him a kid. I think he's got to be in his early 20s. So compared to me now, I guess he is. But anyway, he was like, you're like a wizard. This is my superpower. Anyway, yeah, you got to help your neighbors out every now and again. Robbie Stingle, fixing to cut a hole in my hood for the air cleaner to pop out of. Nice. Barry Kuda, just had yet another person banging on my door like it was a police raid, wanting to know if I'd sell my Valiant. He was in an 85 Lincoln. Wow. Brian Mohan says 351 Cleveland and 351 Windsor have a different firing order than 351 modified. And 302 HO has a different firing order than 302 not HO, which is the HO firing order is the same as the 351 Windsor. Early 20s qualifies as a kid. Yeah, but he's got a really nice mustache. Like a good neighbor, Dead Dodge is there. Anyway, Alan's here. Oh, yes, Alan was indeed caught driving a Ford today. And my brother asked, and I quote, Hold on. Why Alan driving a Ford? Yeah. Nothing about a Ford makes sense. I've had, I counted recently. I think I've had 5 Fords, which is weird, but anyway. Todd Denio is here. It's been 90 plus here in Minnesota border country. Ugh. Crashes Roadrunner Garage is here. Psycho Sinterklaas, who is a member, thank you, says it was like 105 in the shade here. That's not. 90 something in LA. Yeah, it's not the heat, it's the humidity. Call the stream just riveting. Yeah. Nice. What year is it? Well, it's a 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 01, 02, 03, 04 automobile. That wasn't a good... Yeah, anyway. Yes, the red, white, and blue is the point of the new live stream banner. I was waiting... I've mentioned this. I was waiting like years to get that picture because I knew I was going to paint the Barracuda white and then I was going to have red, white, and blue. But it took a really long time to get that car movable. The day it moved, the day it drove out of the garage, I got the other 2 cars out and took those pictures. Red, white, and blue. Chris Nealis with the first comment today. Connor Lake Havasu right behind him. Then Alan. Then Chris Greenhill. Howdy from Texas. How's it going? Mostly Mopar. Robobert. Rob Fitch. James Frank. Dan Arcott. Rich Jordan. How's it going? Scoop was here pretty early. Patrick. Martin Adams. So many names. Something about kerosene cucumbers. Randy Colgrove is a 262 comp cam, a good choice for my 318. 262. 262, slightly shorter duration and lift. Yeah, but what is it? Solid roller? Apparently there's a roller 262. No one here is actually giving the specs on the 262. Is it an XE? They're just showing a roller. It's probably a decent choice, except, of course, that you should not buy a comp. Flat tap it. Yeah, well, comp lifters, at least, have proven to be very terrible. Get some refaced lifters. Or maybe supposedly Howard's are better, but I wouldn't use comp lifters. The cam is maybe fine. I don't know. Yeah, XE262. It is an XE. XE262. Excuse me. Sealed power lifters. Basically, yeah, actually, I did just see someone saying that sealed power lifters are supposed to be better. Which is interesting. Yes, I am Human Summit Racing. I just sent you a bunch of money. Oh, yeah. 462, 470 lift. 262, 270. That is... Actually, it's a size bigger than the one I put in the 318 I am building. AJK Prado 3. Best way to align your 71 dart at home. Well, you could do it with a tape measure and a level. Best way is probably with a quick trick alignment kit, if you can find one of those or buy one. Grease Belly Garage got milling lifters, and they are great. Yeah. I bet milling lifters and sealed power lifters are the same lifters. I could be wrong. I bet most of them are the same lifters. DJ Kami, was the 2.5 and 5.9 Dakota sold in the same model year? I don't know how long they made a 4-banger Dakota, but I bet they were. I mean, 5.9 came in 1998. The 2.5. Oh, stop. Stop it. It's the Jeep engine. Oh, that's my 98 Dakota. Yes. Okay, but what years were they sold, though? I don't know. 2.5. Yes. Yeah, apparently they still did 2.5, still 02. And that is the Jeep engine, not a K-car engine. Larry Pollard is here from Michigan. How's it going? Gary Hergert is also here. Drove the L convertible to the Edmonton Mopar show. Almost 2,000 miles round trip. 0 issues. AC blew at 30 degrees. Yeah, you're welcome. I didn't charge the AC, but I did make stuff work for it. And it was a pain. Yeah. Good times. Do you guys just go to Canada every weekend? Like, Omega Gaming Network pulled the trigger, ordered a cam for my 360 D100 project, Crowder cam, 112 LSA, 218, 222 at 050, lobe lift 316. 316 for, okay, yeah, that's on the mild side, but if we're talking street truck, yeah, that sounds okay. You're right there in it. Where Bobbert said that Dakota RT definitely did not deserve to be parted out. Literally what I said from the beginning. It is a handsome trio. Yes, I'm very, very proud of that. 3 very different cars. One just happy, like stockish Charger, a stockish street racer / stock eliminator from 1971, and then a race car. Mark Bass, did it bother you at all when they wrecked the Charger at the end of the Fast and Furious? I've never watched a single Fast and Furious movie, so I didn't even know they did that. Would it bother me? No, not really. The breaking your ball joints live stream. Nice. Blazing Saddles comes to mind. It's solid as a rock. Yeah, but I shoot with this hand. It's never good borrowing a Ford to haul your Chevy. Brian Mohan looked at a Plymouth Valiant 63. Yeah, didn't you mention that last week, or was that someone else that was looking at a 63 Valiant? Rotted. Yeah, you'll have that. Buyer 66. Any Mopar guys here that have had a torque converter blowout and expand? I've seen it once. Didn't happen to me, but I saw it. Rob Fitch. When I took delivery of my tin grill, the distributor and plug wires were labeled with the Ford numbering scheme, like the 302 one. I wonder why they couldn't get it to run. Interesting. Ripsaw. Since you play with new stuff, any advice on making a 5.7 bulletproof? Yeah, change the oil. JD Westcott, did you see the Cletus video on the EV Charger? No. And that diesel guy beating the crap out of it in the mud. I saw a short or a reel or whatever the hell on Facebook of the guy. I watched it for about 12 seconds and then I was bored. Driving a Ford? No, I didn't drive a Ford, but I had a bunch of Fords. Oh, Alan sent me a video. Oh, I haven't seen that yet, but I got a picture of you driving a... Oh, right, Alan was driving a Ford. Alan's a Ford guy. We turned him into a Mopar guy. But he's still also a Ford guy. It is possible and fully acceptable to like more than one thing. Did you know that? Why so trash? Did you see Hughes Whiplash is no longer being produced? Yes. I don't think they actually made them themselves, but they sold them. I don't remember who made them, but anyway. Plymouth on plywood. I breathed a sigh of relief when my new neighbor and his daughter pulled the transmission out of her OBS on the street. They won't be complaining about me. Yes. Classic Dude Mike wants to know if he can live in the house across the street from me. It would be fun, maybe. I'm sure it would have its moments. Things can be exciting around here. My neighbor Steve that bought the Studebaker says that I've got the best show on the street. But I don't know. I wish they would sell that house to someone that's not. Yeah. Yes. If it's up to me, yes. Chris says you could call the stream not a Volkswagen stream, but to be honest, that would really bug me. Psycho Sinterklaas started sanding a Civic this weekend. Interesting. Like a good neighbor. Dan Orca just sent 10 gift memberships. Santa Dan. Thanks, Dan. T-Bird. Yeah, the Chargers, the jump chargers you see these days are not factory chargers. They're built on Crown Vics. You still see people complaining on the internet because they don't know anything. They don't know that there's like not a one original charger piece on those jump cars. But yeah, I mean, even if they did wreck a few 318 Chargers, like, yeah, it's unfortunate. I really like those cars, but at the same time, like, you know, what are you going to do? What do you do? DH, being a killer bass player with most awesome bass licks. Thank you. Appreciate that. I think I'm okay. I've actually been practicing and trying to like learn stuff, and I'm working on my thumping and plucking technique and trying to make my brain move faster, which is hard. Do you worry about doing something to your hands that'll make you wind up playing the sweet, sweet bass like Vic Chestnut? I don't. Is that the guy? I don't understand the reference, but anyway, injured in a car accident. What happened? Okay. Anyway, yes, that is actually something I think about all the time. And it's not even just music, because everything I do requires my hands. Everything that I like to do. And so sometimes when I'm doing dumb stuff, I think, what if I, like I couldn't edit video. I couldn't film video. I couldn't work on cars. I couldn't write. Couldn't play music. Yeah, that would suck. Anyway. DJ Kami says, it's great that a DDG quasi-love letter to the Dakota RT, yes, I really like those trucks, is the most average Dakota body condition, inexplicable rust holes, skipped maintenance, even after being mechanic-owned by multiple mechanics, roof rack, and multicolor body panels. There you go. Yeah. Oh, Rooster's here. Somewhere. There he is. It's hot in Minnesota, apparently. Robert said I would not call the garbage can Cuda stockish. I was talking about the demon. IH saw blue TRX yesterday and automatically thought of Jamie's TRX. Excuse me. I have TRX news. I locked myself out of it, which is hilarious, and the battery died again, so that problem's not fixed. But my brother brought over the Fancy Pants scanner on Friday, pulled a gajillion codes out of it, wiped most of them, figured out I had wired the ABS wheel speed sensor backwards. I had a 50-50 chance. Flipped the wires, wiped the codes again, and now the transfer case works, the diff is no longer locked up, and I allegedly did a four-wheel burnout. Not a burnout. I ripped it in the gravel is what I did. I still have a crooked rear wheel. I think I know... I have figured out what that is. I don't know specifically like the actual failure, but I know what it is. So we're gonna get it. Looking forward to it. No Berets here. Where the heck is Tom? Awesome video today. Tom is on vacation, and thank you. Wheelie King, what you got against K cars? I have done 2 K car videos, and there was a time I had a K car derived Rampage, Ute, and I really wanted to do something interesting with that. Sorry, I read like 10 comments at once and forgot where I was. K-Cars. Mostly awful pieces of underwhelming garbage, and yet so lovable. I never had a K-Car phase. I missed the boat on that one. Lucas Wittenmeyer is here. Oh yeah, and Rich Riker bought a 97 2500 Cummins on Friday. I knew that. I saw pictures. Also, it was 100 degrees in Kansas City this afternoon. That's not okay. Ripsaw broke down and bought a 5.7. Like a whole truck or like just an engine? First on Race Dead. What's up? Your Car Sucks said, thanks for the Dakota motivation today. I need RT wheels for mine. I'm missing chat because I forgot to change this to all chat from top chat. So I apologize if I'm not seeing your comments. We're also at a point in history where there are just a lot of comments and I'm never going to see all of them, but I try. Has Rocket Restoration sorted through their inventory since buying that shop? Which shop? You're gonna have to be more specific. K-cars are great because Chrysler would have gone bankrupt otherwise, and that's true. Robbie Stingle, is garbage can a low-rise tunnel ram? I don't think so, but it does look lower than some. It's a Y-end. Chris says, if anybody cares, the LeBaron GTS, which is one of the K-cars I was referring to, and it isn't even a K-car technically, is now roadworthy. Nice. How did Meat Fest go last weekend? Meaty ? Yeah, my buddy Drew cooked the steak we brought to absolute divine perfection. And I learned things, and now... I didn't acknowledge Dead Cougar Garage's post. Unsubscribed! Well, now I acknowledge that one, so are you going to resubscribe? Lazarus 7000 just became a DDG member. Thank you. Welcome. Wow. Grease Belly Garage has the back half of a Rampage that I use as a utility trailer. It's excellent. That's sick. Volk Revel is here. I've been seeing comments from you, and I know someone else that has the last name Revel, and like I thought went by a similar name, so I kind of thought it was him. But then your mom's Challenger story made me think, wait a second, I know who this is. And then your comment today cemented that I do, in fact, know who you are. So while I've got you, I'm sorry that I was a dick last time I saw you. I feel bad about it to this day. Anyway, yes. That is the very same amp that I've had all these years, and I got a second one as a backup because I love them. Could an LLV be considered a K car because of its size? No. No Beret says a crooked rear wheel can really pick your pocket. Well, this one, I actually don't think it's a big deal. So as I mentioned in the video, I think I've been all over the axle housing. There's nothing bent. There's nothing cracked, no damaged paint, nothing. I've looked at the mount at the, at the wheel end. There's nothing split. There's no broken welds. There's nothing bent. Like it looks perfectly fine. And it's very clearly just that wheel. The one on the other side is fine. So it's just that rear driver wheel. And I was racking my brain because it rolls and the wheel isn't doing this. It's rolling straight. It's just at an angle. So what the hell could do that? Because you got to figure like there should be an axle shaft in there, right? And it should be on so the flange has to have moved, right? No. Turns out TRX uses a Dana 60 rear axle. And if you know Dana 60s, aside from the Mopar ones from the muscle car era, which were converted to semi-floating just like the 8 3/4, Dana 60s are full floating axles. So there's a floating axle shaft in the middle and then a hub, right? Well, usually they're on like 3/4 ton trucks and the hub bolts on and it's got inner and outer bearings and nuts and the axle shaft goes through it and everything. The TRX uses a very special and stupid axle and hub design. There's a floating axle in the middle and then there's a hub assembly like you would have on the front wheel bolted on to the end of the axle housing with 3 bolts. And I think what happened in the crash, when the wheel got broken, that thing got tweaked like this, and it probably either broke or stripped out the bolts. Now, they're not like spinning or falling out or anything, but like I think something in there is messed up, and that whole hub assembly is like this. So that's why the wheel's crooked, and I think I could just take the wheel and the brakes off, and then take the hub off, and like either replace the hub or figure out what happened to its mounting, and we'll be good to go, which is great, because I didn't really want to buy an axle. And I think I'm having a set of wheels delivered tomorrow. So we're going to be doing TRX stuff soon, and I'm looking forward to it. Classic Dude Mike says, Scott from Cold War Motors has an old man named Tom that lives close, and he always shows up to watch Scott work. I could be your Tom. Yeah, all right. Rope says, presumably to preserve my hands, I should give up knife juggling. Yeah. No Beret says we're living in golden Mopar times. I agree. Ray's here. How's it going, Ray? Good evening, Jamie. Just finished up getting my dad's 59. That's the Impala, right? Or Chevy or whatever it is. Ready for a car show this next weekend. It's only 110 degrees. Heat index. Blech. Josh Homan's here. How's it going? Robbie Stingle has a 30 over 75 318 0 deck 10-1 with a purple 340 cam from 99 pre-China steel. No break-in lube. We'll need to do that. Yes. You might want to pull the lifters out, clean them, oil on the sides, proper lube on the faces. And if it was assembled with grease, you might want to take the whole thing apart. Just a thought. Scoop ate 2 minutes. Wow. Scoop got a gift membership again? Now you get the corn dogs back. Dan Mendoza. Will you ever do an automatic transmission guide / tips and tricks? I'm probably going to rebuild the 727 for the Flying Banana. The problem is that is not a normal automatic transmission. It's a full manual, and it doesn't even look like a normal automatic transmission, and it doesn't have park. So, like, I don't know if it'll be really useful to the normal people out there. I don't know. We'll see. Tim Harper's here. How's it going, Tim? Haven't seen you for a bit. Kenneth also here. Yeah, Stuart Cody. I had multiple comments about just getting complete control arms for the Dakota. The thing you need to understand about that is I had to buy the parts. And the cheap control arms online, a full set of them, is $500. No. Of course, I didn't know what a bastard it was going to be, so hindsight. Chris wants to know how much chargers were actually worth back in 1980. Significantly less. Harry Lister says no sacrifice is too great for art. I I disagree with that. Brian Mohan says wrecking Crown Vics is the real crime. No comment. David says, name it the Poly live stream. Might reach a new demo. Yep. Poly 318 video is coming, finally. Jeff Hutchins likes Fords with IDIs. And straight sixes. I like 300s. 300s are good. I think it was assembled with oil. The guy was old school. Well, you still pre-lube it anyway. Maybe it's fine. Maybe. Apex Loaf got a membership. Thanks. Yes, rear unit bearing. Correct. And there are lots of vehicles that have that. It's just weird seeing it on a solid axle with a floating axle shaft in the middle. It's very strange. Johnny Grassa, did you try switching wheels side to side? I don't need to do that. It is absolutely not a wheel problem. Absolutely not. If it was a wheel problem, the wheel would be wobbling. It is not. And the wheel that is on there now is the spare from under the truck because the one that was on there was smashed in the accident. Does B-Bro need to unsubscribe too? I don't think so. I mean, you can if you want. Why so trash? Have you ever thought of coming down to South MS for cruising the coast one year? That is Mississippi, right? One of the largest classic car events in the U.S. As a local, it's a great time. Never heard of it. And I apologize. I'm sure it's cool, but I will not be there. Classic dude Mike would let me park cars in his yard. My buddy Connor was talking about buying the empty lot over here and, bringing some of his projects in and what have you. But then said, well, you could park stuff over here. Oh, B-Bro. Yeah. Jamie, how's it going? Did you ever go through the box yet? No, I carried it out to the shop, but I still haven't actually gone through it. I will do that. DH says Vic Chestnut could only use like one finger or something to play the guitar. He was the guy in the wheelchair in Doyle Hargrove's band in Sling Blade. Interesting. I've never seen that either. Love the channel. Thank you. Appreciate that. Did your mom win one? No, and she's on vacation, so. Robbie Stingle sent me $5. Thank you. And said, way to hang with that suspension today. Thank you. Yes, I gave up on it for like 3 days, and then I just went back to it. And when you have problems like that, you just have to. You need to go, nope, and then come back to it with fresh eyes. That's what I did, and I got it quick. Lazarus 7000. I hit the volume knob. Any idea why my time delay relay wants to fuse itself shut? I replaced it. Smoke started to come out, so I unplugged it. Old one is fused on solid. Couldn't separate the points with my knife. Time delay relay. It's just is it just hooked to a light on the ignition? Or is it something else? Too much load and not enough fuse protection, I suspect. It surely shouldn't be smoking. Something's horribly wrong. I don't know anything about those or how they work even. Excuse me. Hippie Long has had 3 or 4 Colts. I haven't, but I have had an 81 Challenger, and I liked that quite a bit. Similar animal. Slater's here. No drag racing at George Ray's today. 98 degrees, 99 tomorrow. Humidity? Yes. Why are we talking about K-cars? TRX swap perky. Out. End of time. What's your ideas on fast flow thermostats and temp range? I have no thoughts. I don't have thoughts. I have no thoughts. Ooh. Jealous. It's the old Rocky Restorations. Lemons Racer. Oli Barracuda. Anyway. Beep, 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 beep. Checking things and stuff. And things. Okay. I love an optimistic plan. Optimism is key. Scott DeForge is here. How's it going? Hot down here in SoCal. How's the book coming? I'm about a quarter of the way through chapter 4. Oh, end of time. Whoops. Coming in hot. Thermostat. I just buy a normal one from the parts store, and if I'm feeling fancy, then I get an ultra stat with a jiggle valve in it, but I usually don't care. Cooling systems are like almost extra here. I mean, it's this time of year, it's sometimes 75 degrees, but like I've never had cooling problems in anything except that time I idled the Demon for half an hour in the staging lanes. And I didn't just idle it either. But anyway. Robbie Stingle. Did you watch the drag races in Seattle today? I wondered if you went. I did not. I don't go anywhere. That's not true. I do not go. Yeah, what Ted Cougar Garage says. No, our hero doesn't go anywhere. This guy gets it. I mean, I will. I don't go to car events. I just don't. I live and breathe cars 5 days a week, 11 hours a day. So at the end of that, I'm ready to sit in the house and play bass and write a book and edit videos and drink coffee and occasionally hang out with my family. So no, I don't go to car shows. I just don't care. And racing, I'm into racing, but like not so much when I'm not doing it. Does that make sense? Actually, I like watching racing when Just Mopar Joe's doing it. Oh, Rob Fitch is sort of thinking about renting a place in Westport. We'd almost be neighbors. My buddy Connor runs a business out there. Oh, I peaked again. Jeff Hutchins says, Jamie, as a public service, you should warn people not to smack the top of their second-gen Ram dashes. No, don't do that. It'll be in pieces. Ray said, yeah, Dad's 59 is the only four-door on the road in my fleet. It is a Bel Air. Yeah, cool car. Very nice. The guy Alan got that Valance from for his 71 Satellite knows Tom. Great guy. His name is also Jamie. Interesting. Scoop says he will not take all the corn dogs. Nice. Oh, Tom the neighbor is the foreman at Cold War Motors. Nice. The door is ajar. RDA Love said TRX sounds sick. Yes. Yes. Phillips had a 70 Sports Fury with the hideaway headlights. Fox Can Fix It is currently stalled on a transmission rebuild project. A part I ordered has not moved in the post office black hole system for the last 10 days. Is it being shipped by the post office or Amazon? Absolutely. Yeah, Ram dashes explode up here too. Granddad's Junk here. Granddad's Junks is here. Welcome. Stuart Cody, have you ever been to an NHRA national event? I don't know. I was at the races at Pacific or whatever the heck it's called once. and there were top fuel cars running, nitro cars. But at that time, I didn't know a damn thing about drag racing or much of anything, really. I was much younger. I didn't actually watch the races. I heard them from the pits, though. I was there playing with a band in the pits somewhere, and it was one of the shows of all time. Arkid 2000 says, "Hi, Jamie." Hello, Arkid 2000. "You gave me some good advice last week that my 8 degrees of timing chain slot was too much. I will repair this winter, but in the meantime, should I advance the timing a bit to compensate? Just verify your ignition timing is set to spec, or I'm assuming this is a stock engine, so set it to spec. And if the cam has been retarded and the ignition timing has been retarded, advancing it back to where it should go will help." IH says, "How is Perky the taxi?" Good. Drove it across town a couple times this week. It has no issues. That's why you haven't seen it. Jeff Hutchins, "Jamie, have you ever driven a tuned pump IDI turbo manual transmission with straight pipe?" Not with a manual, but I have seen turboed ones, and they are cool. They seem fun. I've never hauled with one, but yeah. I've heard they're slow once they're towing stuff. Yeah, that's just one of many reasons you don't want a Dakota or Durango. Let's talk neon. We can talk neon, I guess. Yes, Ryan is with family looking at a truck. Okay. Timer relay. Light on the column. 2 lights on the dash that remind you to do up your seatbelt and lock the doors. What year is this thing? Because that isn't just one relay then, right? It's like a pack, like a magic box. The earlier ones, I'm getting louder. The earlier ones, gain staging is key. The earlier ones, it's just a timer for that little convenience light. It's interesting. Yeah, see, I don't know a thing about that. This is obviously some 70s thing. And, yeah, you got me on that one. Johnny Grasso wants to know, when are you going to get some Perky merch out? Dude, I don't know. The thing, it's been drawn. That's been done for a long time. When am I going to get any new merch out? Yeah. Same thing as ever. There's just the one of me. And I'm writing a book. Just finished building sets. The actual show is this week and weekend. And then we will strike on Sunday. Oh, by the way, next Sunday live stream will be probably very late, maybe not at all. It just depends. I bet there will be a live, but it'll be late. David says, if we drum up enough interest for K-Cars, he'll be able to unload his acclaim. Old Iron, when do we get a video on a first-gen Dakota? So, did you see the red Dakota that was in the background at my place for a long time? It was supposed to be a video. We were going to delete the EFI into a carb, and I'm glad we didn't, because all it needed was one connector fixed. It was going to be a video, and then it just wasn't. But anyway, someday there will be a first-gen Dakota, I'm sure. Omega Gaming Network, is the Discord sub only or just certain channels sub only? The Discord is for all. In fact, I will, because McLovin is not here to do it, I will post a link. Join the DDG Discord. That should be enough exclamation points. It is free for all. The only channel, there is a members only channel that you will see if you are a fancy member or a gold member, and you have to attach your YouTube account to your Discord. Excuse me. But all the other channels are for anybody. You are welcome there. It's a big tent. I think we are up to, I saw this earlier, I think it's 543 members. Now it's 545 because 2 people just joined. Welcome. Joint? Uh-huh. Yeah. There might be cat pictures there. That's a Lincoln. That's a Jeep. That's a mountain. That's a house. That's some mountains. That's a cat. Okay, there's there's more cats. Oh, so precious. Oh, I should post a cat picture. The members only jackets are for members only. Oh, Dakota. Wow, that's a cat. I know because I've seen cats before. Here, these cats have taken to hanging out here for some reason, and they are sisters. And they are in stereo. Lawn Tractor Life. Can you explain direct connection? Yeah, direct connection initially was a direct connection between Chrysler Corporate's racing activities and racers. Specifically, with factory backing. It grew to become performance parts supply from Chrysler. Not only for their backed racers, but stuff they sold. But yeah, the direct connection was the connection between racers and the factory. Today, they brought back direct connection, and again, it is performance, or not even performance necessarily, but like parts, tweaks, accessories, etc. that you can buy from Chrysler, Fiat, DeSoto, Stellantis, Imperial, Mercedes, Daimler, Lamborghini, etc. For your vehicle. Alan Pierce is here, checking in from Milwaukee. How's it going? Jeff Blackman. I want I want a non-computer brain automatic overdrive transmission behind a carbed Magnum and a gold duster. What is it? 46RH. Also called the A518 Ford AOD. That ain't it. Stuart Cody wonders if Dodge is ever going to come out with a new Dakota. Supposedly, it is coming. Lawn Tractor Life. Direct connection was not just drag racers. It was any... Chrysler had people in all types of racing. Oh, I forgot to mention Diamond Star Motors. Oh, well. Fogger Nozzle is here from the UK. How's it going? Have you got any love for the Plymouth Cricket? I'd love to see one of you stateside YouTubers put one together. They're interesting. I know it's like a Hillman Avenger or whatever, something like that. There was one for sale in the Portland area. That's a couple hours from me. If it was like right next door, I would have bought it just for fun, It's interesting. It's not really a Mopar. It's a lot like the Mitsubishi products that were sold as, under Chrysler names. It's interesting. I'd take one. T-Bird says current direct connection is not as broad as Mopar Performance was. Absolutely. 100% true. Cricket was a Mitsubishi? I thought the Cricket... Hold on. No. You're making me question my whole life. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, the Cricket was the Colt. What am I thinking of? Oh, no. It's two different. Okay. All right. Okay. The one I'm talking about, 71 to 73, it's a Hillman Avenger rebadged Plymouth Cricket. 73 to 5, they did a version of the Dodge Colt and called it the Plymouth Cricket. So it's both. It depends on the year. I knew about the English ones. I didn't know about that. Was Iacocca even still in the picture in 1988 or whatever? Lawn Tractor Life. Can you explain why Chrysler bought out Jeep? Yes, because they thought at some point being a profitable automotive corporation would be a good idea. So they bought a brand that people actually like. A lot of Chrysler guys don't accept the Jeeps. Where? What Chrysler guys don't accept Jeeps? That's ridiculous. Especially today. I mean, you can get a Jeep with a Hemi in it. Or you could a couple of years ago. Mopar Man 1978's here. How's it going? Yeah, Chrysler bought out AMC, and they bought out AMC because AMC was struggling. I mean, they were always struggling. They bought out AMC to get Jeep because Jeep was keeping AMC afloat all that time, and Chrysler saw them as a life raft. And they were, and they still are today. But Ram trucks are starting to catch up because they're really good now. Buy your own t-shirt and a Sharpie and make your own Perky shirt. Wow, nice. Interesting. Johnny Grosso says, how many cats do you own? Do you really own a cat? I think cats kind of more own you. We have 4 girl cats in the house. We have a girl and a boy outside. And then another random male that I feed sometimes. And there are various other cats in the neighborhood that we keep an eye out for. But we belong to 6. True Reapers said, just want to say I really enjoy the Garbage Can Barracuda videos. Saw you just did another video not long ago after a long time without one, and I enjoyed it. Would love to see more on it. I just bought off eBay a set of gears for that car. 530s with a spool. It's going to be sick. Should help the bog a little bit. So in an upcoming episode, I'm going to figure out what the hell's wrong with my charging system and fix that, I hope. Probably do some more with the ignition, change the gaskets in the tunnel ram, and then I'm going to change out the gears, and I'm going to take the transmission back out and replace the clutch because it is just god awful. It's so bad now that I've tweaked the linkage so it actually tries to fully disengage. It's flexing my firewall a ½ inch. It still doesn't fully disengage, and it is the heaviest clutch pedal on earth. So I'm going to put a diaphragm clutch in it, and hopefully it doesn't blow up. I do have a scatter shield, though, and I don't have very much horsepower, so I think it'll be okay. Yeah, IDI turbos are interesting. It's not a Cummins, so I don't get excited about it, but I do think the IDI turbo is interesting. I have driven a couple of them. I've also driven a couple 6.5 GM products from the 90s. Of course, they have those stupid Stanodyne module failures, but turned up a little bit with a straight exhaust. Those are pretty fun, too. And it's just a mechanical V8 with a turbo. Pretty cool. Excuse me. That's a 72. It's a set of bimetal strip contacts supposed to stay on for a set time and then go off. But how would they... I don't understand how they would use the same timer for all of those things. That doesn't make sense. Unless there are 3 different paths to ground through the same unit. How many wires go into it? 2 or 5? Hallucinated Ovens says Perkins Plymouth is my dream car. It's pretty sick. Johnny Grassa says Dakotas do better burnouts than new Ram 1500s. Well, traction control, but yeah. IH says, how's the greenhouse build? Haven't touched it. Sore subject. Mark King. Hi, Jamie. How's your book going? Good. I'm a quarter of the way through chapter 4. So once I finish that chapter, then I'm only 3.5 weeks behind schedule. And honestly, for me, that's pretty good. Barry Kuda says, on Wednesdays, I go shopping and have buttered scones for tea. I thought on Wednesdays we wore pink. Robert doesn't... Peeked again. Robert doesn't want to see Granddad's junk. Oof. Yeah. Plymouth on Plywood. I have found that my Cummins-powered trucks much prefer Cummins thermostats. That is a thing. I don't know why. I have no idea. how it works, but it does. Cummins trucks, if you have a Cummins truck and it's cold-blooded like every other Cummins truck in the world, go to the Cummins store or, Kenworth, who sell Cummins parts around here or whatever, and get an actual Cummins thermostat. And it will make your operating temperature be a thing instead of being dead cold and having no working heater. I don't understand it, but it is a fact. I have done it. I've read it. Yeah. Cummins likes Cummins thermostat. Perky. I think I need to put a Cummins thermostat in Perky because it's exactly the same thing. It's just fully cold-blooded at all times. Never gets to operating temperature, ever. Scoop says the heaters in Jeep TJs get so hot they crack the windshield. Oh, David says, about your hands, if I ruin my hands or whatever. Your brother, Alan, myself, and others will keep the channel alive like Steve Magg's friends did. Well, okay. No Beret says, from both O'Reilly and Rock Auto, I've never gotten a 195 thermostat that passed testing or worked right in the vehicle. Have to get authentic Mopar. Interesting. Classic Dude Mike, how's your wife's giant fish tank? Good. Although we don't know what's wrong with him. Maybe a swim bladder problem. We have a fish currently doing that number. Still alive, still hanging with the other fish, but he just loses balance and goes all wonky. And this happened because yesterday she said, these guys are doing great. Haven't lost to one of them. They're super hardy. Hour later. Anyway. Yeah. Ray says, Jamie doesn't go to car events? We are blessed. Yeah, No Name is not a car event. It's a YouTuber event. It's a party disguised as a drag race. Anyway. IH, do you like swap meat? It's not my favorite. I prefer steak. I like buying stuff. I don't go to swap meets because I know myself. As someone who has for some reason bought 4 Rickenbacker bases, I could tell you that I'm an idiot and I'm not good with my money. And I'm like a kid in a candy store when there's just too many options. First off, it gives me a headache. There are just too many things and I don't want to miss them all. And no, I've gone to a couple. But as a general rule, I do not. David says social settings hours away from home are not for everyone. Yeah. Lucas Wittenmeyer bought a cheap lick down cable. I'm thinking you mean kick down cable, and it was a total waste of time and money. I have no excuses. What was wrong with it? Because the issue I've had with the cheap ones, the coding is too long, so you can't actually get things to line up. And so I've had to trim the coating on those cheap ones. Other than that, wrap it in tape and then very carefully cut it. Pull the center cable back. Anyway, other than that, I've never had issues with the cheap ones. Isn't Lucas a member? Lucas is not a member on Discord. Again, if you join the Discord and you want access to the members only, it's a fancy or a gold membership. Gets you access to members only. And the good thing about members only is it sends a notification right to my phone. So if you have a question for me, or you really want to get a hold of me quickly for any reason, or you want to make sure I see it, because again, we have almost 550 members now, and so there's just a lot going on, and I do not see every single post. So members only is a good way to get a hold of me. Even if you're a regular member, Discord will show that you're a member, which is kind of cool. You just have to log into your YouTube in the Discord app. Lucas, Prince of Darkness. A gentleman does not motor about after dark. Nice. Lawn Tractor Life. We're talking about cars and there's Tama drums in the background. What are we doing, people? Yeah, Long Lug Rock Stars or whatever the heck they are. I own that drum set. Actually, I own it because my wife bought it for me for Valentine's Day one year to get me the cymbals because I needed cymbals. I had another drum set. She did not know that that's my dream drum set. Because Dave Grohl played one just like that, but with bigger tom sizes. Anyway, Old Irons Kickdown was the $20 special from Amazon. It's doing fine. Robbie Stingle is getting some original 72J heads in 5 days. Nice. Show us the Tamas. I mean, what do you want me to do? The camera doesn't move. The Ford Tesseract is freaking me out. Having a hoard of old cars / truck parts is a coming gold mine, even a current gold mine, says Jeff. You're not wrong. I don't know about gold, but it's money in the bank. Alan says, tell all your friends to subscribe. Yes, please do that. We rolled over 95,500 today. Or yesterday? No, I think it was today. Making poor financial choices is a prerequisite for being a Mopar guy. Nice. A whole bunch of members commented like all at once. It's really cool looking. Like Andrea. Hi, Andrea. There's a... no name is a life goal for PQ Speed Shop. Yeah. Well, how many subs you got? PQ Speed Shop. 276. Everybody should go subscribe to PQ's Speed Shop. PQ Speed Shop. PQ's, or all one word, at PQ Speed Shop. Can I share? I feel like there should be a way. Here we go. McLovin. Never heard of him. I'm posting a link to PQ's Speed Shop. What about auctions? No, I don't do auctions. I've bid on a few cars, never won one, never works out. Nah. Is there a possible cat encounter involving that fish? No. I'm not trying to kill my wife's fish. Mopar K's here. Crystal of Liberty is here also. Where'd all you people got here at once? Gent Smoker wants to know, Jamie, how's it going? It's going good. Second question, how's parts availability for third gen Dodge? Specifically 72 to 76. That's not a third gen. What are you talking about? You talking about tin grill trucks? No one calls those third gens. Parts availability? Pretty good. You don't mean a third gen B body, do you? Okay. The timer thing. 3 contacts. Okay. All right. That's how it does. Got it. 6 wires. 1 to each door switch. Yep. 1 to the 2 dash lamps. 1 to the ignition lamp. 1 disappears into the body harness. That would be power. 2 lamps on the dash are on the same trace of the board. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, weird. I do not know the first thing about how that works. I mean, I guess I do, but I've never messed with them, and I don't know what your issue could be. End of time. Will the book have color pictures? Yes, it's a CarTech book, also known as SA Design. CarTech is the company. SA Design is the book series, technical book series, and yeah, nice full color pictures, and lots of them. Scoop's cat likes snacks and sleep. Nice. I got to keep checking this thing so I know when to collect child. Okay. We're gonna need a bigger scoop. Ayakoka introduced the Viper. I thought you were smarter than Mark Warman. I don't know dick all about what years who was in charge. Why would I care to know that? I do know that I'm changing my name to Chrysler. I'm going down to Washington, D.C., or heading down, or whatever. I will tell some mortgage broker what they did for Ayakoka will be perfectly acceptable to me. I'm changing my name to Chrysler. I'm heading for that great receiving line. When they hand $1 million grand out, I'll be standing with my hand out. Yes, sir, I'll get mine. But I don't know what year Ayakoka retired, and frankly, I don't care. Anyway, knowing things and intelligence are not the same. Angelo Racino is late. Well, that's quite all right. Loved the video on the Dakota RT. Thank you. Appreciate that. Steve Henson wants to know, are you hugging all the Rickenbackers? So there was this period of time where my YouTube income went up significantly, and I was still trying to be a little smarter, and I wasn't dumping all of my money into car projects and TRXs. So I had a savings account. And then I started thinking, you know what? I should invest some of this in musical instruments. And I started tooling up my studio gear because we were recording Morning Orange, and it just seemed like a good excuse. And then, you know, I had gotten the one Rick when I sold the Power Wagon, and then I had a little money, and I thought, you know what I need? I need a backup Rick. So I got a backup Rick. And then I got this one, which turns out to be the actually good one from Vivian. And then I got that one, which is a Japanese copy. And then I sold the black one, which was the second one I bought because I didn't need 3 or 4, however many it was. And then I bought that one because it was a good deal on Reverb. And then I fixed it, and then I realized I don't need that one either. But all of them, no. Many of them, yes. Robbie Stingle, Tunnel Ram probably don't help in the 8th mile. But like I said, they're super cool. It's one of the coolest parts of the Barracuda. Is that Tunnel Ram? I don't care that it's worse. It is worse. A single quad on a normal intake would be so much better. But Tunnel Ram. Lawn Tractor Life. Can I put a 6BT in a Jeep? You shouldn't. Depending on the Jeep. I mean, where there's a will, there's a way. And some of your firewall is definitely extra. Snowmonk VX is here, but late. Well, that's okay. Everybody's doing it. Hey, I've got 2 383s to build. I'd like one to nudge 6,000 RPM. Probably not too hard. Engine builder suggestions. Build for compression, ? Springs, ? Okay. You need a camshaft that's going to work at 6,000 RPM. You're definitely going a good bit bigger than stock to get there. You want a good set of heads. You need springs that match your camshaft. Good automotive machine shop can help you set that up. Mine does. I don't know a damn thing about valve spring pressures. Nothing. The numbers mean nothing to me. But I know who to ask to get it right. And I suggest you do the same. But anyway, you need valve springs that match your camshaft. You need a good camshaft that will work in the range you want to be in. You need good heads. Now, just about all big block heads from... Not the early 516s aren't great, but I would say any head 68 and on. Now, people really like the closed chamber 915s from 1967. Some of those have small exhaust valves. Some of them do have big exhaust valves. The ones that have big valves are valuable. You can also, if you have a budget for it, you could just get Edelbrock or 440 Source or Trick Flow or whatever the heck you want. Aluminum heads, I like stock. But whatever you get, if you're working with stock heads, you're going to want hardened valve seats for the exhaust side. You probably just want new valves, keepers, springs, obviously. Make sure everything else is good. Port job, basic port job. And you should probably block the heat crossover as well. Yes, you need to get the compression up. Absolutely. As Randy at the machine shop says, 383s are compression challenged. You need the tallest flat piston you can get. You're going to need valve reliefs in that flat piston. KBs are an option. They're not the strongest pistons in the world, but when you're not making 500 horsepower, they work pretty good. There is so much more to it. But that is a short list of things that you should be thinking about. Old Iron would argue there hasn't been a bad Ram outside of the 3747s and maybe the Eco Diesels. First generation Hemi trucks, the heads fell apart. So that kind of sucks. Dead End Dave, which one of them channels on the Discord do you mainly look at? Community room. I don't usually go in Hobby Lobby. Oh, I haven't been in Vintage Car Pics in a really long time. Sad. Oh, there's some good stuff in here. Sometimes people think vintage car pictures means pictures of vintage cars, but it is not. It is about vintage pictures of cars. Some people get it. But anyway, yeah, haven't been in there. There's a music room, a game room. I usually don't go in those ones. There's the dank meme stash. Yeah, check up on that one. My morning routine is mostly waiting to become a nicer person. That sounds familiar. Here's a question for the mind readers out there. Yeah, okay. Anyway, I try to keep tabs on community room, but there's a lot that happens in there. But like I say, members only, I see that one for sure. Ram Truck has become its own brand nowadays, I think. Yes, Lawn Tractor Life, that is correct. 2009, I believe. All I could have Ford says, you did a Trash Can Cuda video and it made me happy. Yes, I did, and I will be doing another one. Lawn Tractor Life hates Jeeps. Well, okay, that's one. Iacocca was around into the 90s. Yes, I just learned that. How come Jeep is considered a Chrysler stepchild? Because the early ones were still AMC products. They were still AMC engines. They were AMC everything. When Chrysler took over, they kept selling what AMC had already been selling or what they had designed. They discontinued all the cars. They discontinued other things within the first few years. The Wrangler stayed, the Cherokee stayed. The Grand Cherokee was supposed to be the replacement for the Cherokee, and instead they sold both for like a decade. But they were all AMC things. They started boogering on Chrysler systems. Magnum engines ended up in the Grand Cherokee, which is cool. But other things were very weird about them. They still weren't truly Chrysler, really. But over time, they became that way. Simca. I don't know anything about Simca. Jeff R. is 13 minutes behind the live. Mopar Man is a Mopar nut and likes Jeeps, especially XJs. XJs are the best. I loaned my friend Mitchell, not Mitchell, but Mitchell, my XJ today because his Toyota, I think it is, had a horrible misfire and he had to go to the airport. So I loaned him the one thing that I knew would get him there, which was my XJ Cherokee. And he came back and he said, that thing's awesome. I had no idea. Scoop hates the duck thing. We have against ducks. This is Super Duck. Super Duck lives on my desk. Currently playing with Super Duck over here. Oh, the duck thing in Jeeps? Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not that guy. Mohawk 62 is here. How's it going? Mopar Man 78 says a Jeep 4.0 will bolt right in an AMC Pacer / Gremlin and puts out more power than the older Jeep Inline 6. Yes, it does. Fantastic engines. Really like them. Yeah. You know what's unfortunate? The 2.5, which is a 4-cylinder version of the 4-liter, uses a BOP, Buick Olds Pontiac bolt pattern. So you can't put a 4.0 right in place of one. It's goofy stuff. Dead End Dave has 2 Kaiser Jeeps. Nice. Jeep Trackhawk. Yes. Want one. Dead Cougar Garage is out. Do they play cricket in Japan? I have no idea. Gregory Watts, do they make a spool or mini spool for the 8 1/4? I don't know that. Not sure. I can't see putting a spool in an 8 1/4 though. Jeff Hutchins subsidizes 2 cats. I'm way back in the comments. $7,500 for a 2-door Cherokee. They have held their value. It's unfortunate, but anyway. I wanted an XJ like 12 years ago. My wife really wanted a square SUV. And so I started looking at XJs at that time, and like they cost thousands. People were super proud of them, at least the late ones. But Grand Cherokees were literally free. We were given 4 of them. And so she drove a ZJ Limited, and it was awesome. Super 62 FPV. How long can an engine sit after assembly before breaking it in? There's no straight single answer to that question. It kind of depends on what it was assembled with. If it was assembled with grease, the grease can dry out. And so over many years, like that can do some damage. That could do some nasty stuff. Beyond that, rust could happen. Spiders can happen. You know, there's a lot of things that can happen that are bad. But, you know, if it's not full of solidified grease and dead spiders, a very long time, there's no easy answer to that. If it's been a year, you're probably fine. If it's been 10, you're probably not fine without at least looking in it. Not recently, something like a year ago, maybe even more. Not Mitchell, the other Mitchell. I took apart a 440 that was built 40 years ago and never run. And it wasn't too bad, but, you know, it also wasn't too good in places. ONC76. I saw a Beetle in your last video. Will you be racing in the Baja 500? No. I have half a mind to do some kind of Baja racing with a TRX painted like this, though. I'm not saying I'm going to. I'm just saying. Some Grand Wagoneers had a Turbo 400. Lots of Jeeps had Chrysler Torque Flights. Junt Smoker, thoughts on the GMT 400 platform and similar year trucks? GMT 400s are really good. I actually like 800s as well. I almost bought one once, but they're good trucks. Byron has a 95, so that has the newer dash, but it's still a TBI, and his is a heavy half or whatever with an NV 4500 5-speed. That's a good truck. Yes, Uncle Tony really likes XJs. He sure does. Oof. .340 heads had hardened keepers and hardened seats. 60 thou deep. Really? Oh, man. Illusion Dweller, nice. Oh, yeah. Have you heard of Illusion Dweller? I helped start that band. I was the original drummer and other vocalist. You can find Illusion Dweller on Bandcamp. There's not a lot on there, and the one I was in is not on there. I supposedly may well be rejoining that band on guitar. Apparently, Illusion Dweller is also a rock climb in Joshua Tree. Who knew? Oh, John Sellers joined the live and said, "Yo, love the show. Wish I could do what you do, man. You're awesome. Thank you. Much appreciated. I'm just doing my best." Scoop thought Keith Black made high-end Hemis. Yes, and cheap performance pistons. Jeff Hutchins likes to put big valves and hardened seats in whatever heads he uses, and that's fine. Here's why... Mike said Stellantis is to Mopar as artificial crab legs are to seafood. I really like the crab rangoons or lagoons, depending on what restaurant you're in, that are artificial crab. They are fantastic. Oh, no, I've never listened to Carp. I don't know who that is. Big valves. The 360 that I just took out of the Demon and put in Mark's Dart is Exhibit A for why small valves are fine. Just saying. Like, I get it, but the small valve 360 smog heads do just fine. So, like, what are we worrying about? What are we trying to do? I mean, that car, it only pulled paper slippers. It didn't do, 4 to 6 inches like the Barracuda, but still, I mean, that's a stout engine. Small valve 360 heads with a very basic cleanup porting job. Anyway. Yeah, valve spring pressures, much like wheel offset numbers and tire sizes, it just means nothing to me. I don't know. I can do some reading and I can find out, I can find recommendations from people that know, but I don't know dick about valve spring pressures. There's a lot of things I don't know. D1 Menace. Mrs. Jamie must earn lots of money for you to buy all that. No, not anymore. YouTube, baby, is paying the bills. She's not even working right now. Chris Liberty says Jamie's a much nicer person than Mark Warman. I don't know that Mark isn't a nice person, but anyway. Scott DeForge subscribed to PQ's Speed Shop. Thank you for that. Let's see. What's he got? 276. 285. That's 9 subscribers for PQ Speed Shop. Thanks, everybody. There's a 73 Challenger on here. Pretty cool. Oh, we're doing metalwork. Wow. Rad. Yeah. If you, maybe we can get PQ to 300 tonight. That would be cool. But if you really want help getting to your 500 subs for No Name, join John Wilburn's live stream. He does that on Fridays. And join up with the group. Will the book have any scratch and sniff? If I have anything to say about it. Oh, Gent Smoker. I was thinking of the D series trucks lineage, 72 to 93 being considered the third generation. I understand. Yeah, the original D series was 1950. Whatever, somewhere in the 50s. And then what we call the swept line, even though it wasn't the first truck with a swept line bed, 61 to 71. But that was like the 5th generation of Dodge trucks in general. So third gen. And here's the thing. The generation terms that Dodge truck enthusiasts use are all wrong. It's best if you think of them as generations of Cummins truck and not generations of Dodge truck. I don't think of a tin grill truck as a first gen. I only think of 89 to 93 Cummins trucks as a first gen because it's the first generation of the Cummins truck, and that's usually what people mean by that. That terminology just gives me a bit of a headache because third gen to me is a 2003 to 2008 Or is it 9 in the heavy duty? No, I think it's 8 Cummins truck. That's all. But anyway, yeah. You are talking about what we enthusiasts call tin grills. I think enthusiasts at large, what I call tin grills anyway. 1972 to 1980. Excuse me. Oh, Manny A. Ribera. Manny A. Ribera. That's a different name for that picture. I can't remember what your old name was. Anyway, thanks to Jamie, I now have way too many projects. Started with one Dodge Magnum. Now I've got a red 5.9 RT Dakota. Nice. A 69 Charger. Even nicer. And a tin grill. I love tin grills. All came after I started watching DDG. You're welcome and or I'm sorry. Barracuda, an Edelbrock is a Carter remake, isn't it? Yes, that is exactly what it is. That is exactly what it is. And it's great. An Edelbrock AVS 2 is the best Carter carburetor of all time. All I could afford. If I theoretically had a torque converter for an A904 that had stripped all the threads out of the flex plate to converter bolts, how bad of an idea would it be to drill and tap them out to a larger size? Here's the problem you're going to have. You only have... I turned off the camera. I moved away from the camera. You only have this much room to work with. So drilling that without sending a drill bit into the converter body, tough. Now, on Alan's truck, it was on Alan's truck, right? The converter, what the hell? Was that Alan's truck or was that something else? I can't remember. We've done too many small blocks. On some truck recently, we had a stripped converter bolt. And I thought about doing exactly that, either doing a helicoil or oversizing it. But then I was looking at the amount of room there is there, and man, you're only going to get a drill bit halfway down that, and then you're only going to get a tap like 2 threads into it. So I'm not saying it's impossible, but difficult. Angela Racino, love the Dakota video today. Love how you added in a few seconds on the dart. Yes, this is the way. Throw down a beat. Fine. Show us the Thomas. I guess that was a while ago. Fine, I will. Chad Ironballs. Are 70 to 74 E-body and B-body clutch pedal assemblies the same? That would be 71 and up B, and I actually don't know that the pedal box is the same. The dash frames are different. I don't know. Ask Brewers. Go to Brewers. All right, I'm going to try and think of a drum beat. But first, I should make sure that my mic settings are right. People, and where is my horse? No, that was bad. Also, I got the blankie on there for the cat. My foot's out of practice. Can't do it. Come back to me. I can do better. I really haven't drummed in a long time. Whoops. Someone said play some music for us. I have a guitar somewhere. Anyway. Josh Homan says, I don't mind that they saved Chrysler in 1980, but they should have let him go under in 2008. I disagree because I really like some modern Chrysler products. Like, yeah, I do. I think it was worth saving. It's dumb that they were in that position for the 100th time in history. But anyway, 383s are great engines. Oh, driveway of misfits. Difference between 1980 and 2008. 1980, Chrysler did it to themselves. 2008, Daimler destroyed Chrysler. Cool trick. Yeah. Lucas Wittenmeyer is out. Thanks for being here. Take the point off a drill bit. Don't need it to open an existing hole. Yeah, you still need the outer section. Yes. Turn the point completely off the tap. I would think you would need to start the hole before. You ain't no Buddy Rich. At one time, I was really good. Hang on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Let's see which song this is. Oh, that's a Nirvana cover. That's embarrassing. Somewhere on here. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Ooh. My kick foot's always been off, I guess. That's the kick rolls. That's what's up. At one time, I was good at that. Speed King pedals are hard. Is this still alive? Yes. Is it loaded? Karen Carpenter was a great drummer. Who do I know? What? Buddy Rich? Of course. Do I know who Buddy Rich is? Buddy Rich was one of my heroes when I was playing drums. Stock market ruins everything. Today's video, I cut out about a minute rant about how Les Schwab blows now because private equity ruins everything. Everything. So stupid. Buddy Rich, the world's greatest drummer. Just ask him. He was fantastic, though. Buddy Rich and Bonham were my two. Ringo Starr's in the pocket, but he never really inspired me. I don't know, Eric Kretz. Yeah, drumming was always... Yes, I need some warming up. Exactly. Hey, guy that never drums anymore and just happens to have drums in his studio. Go play them and impress us and be as good as Buddy Rich. I play bass. What do you want? Raymond Cabela's here. How's things today? Only had the 2 Dakota RTs back in my work days. Loved your old RT truck today. Thank you. Overbuild Automotive is here. Well, that was something. D1 Menace. I've seen you work on all sizes of Mopar motors. Never a big block 361. Well, then you didn't see the videos where I built a 361. The engine that I built for my 1957 Dodge Coronet is a 361 big block. Oh, it was Crapple. Yes, thank you, Alan. It was Crapple. We used the converter from Alan's D100, which we were afraid we needed for Byron's Dart. It turns out What Byron's dart needed was transmission fluid. Anyway. Yeah, Mark knows a lot of things. I don't like that show. I don't like television. I do like I do like House Hunters. Oh, cool. Alan asks if I'm ready for the 318 for the brown dart. Oh, I'm ready. Yeah, he is ready to 440 swap the satellite. Well, I think step one to that is to pull the 440 out of the banana. So we better just get on that. Excuse me. Same name, same pick. Huh. I must be mixing you up with someone else then, because the picture looks familiar to me and the name, I don't know. I don't know anything. Johnny Grasso is going to look at an 82-ish D150 short box. Best feature, aluminum slots. Slot mags are the only wheel. Other than Krager's, I actually like Krager's. Sorry, now I'm humming the House Hunters theme. Rob Fitch loves his tin grill for show. Yes. They're fantastic trucks. I just love them. Tin grills are their own gen. They're zero gen. Zeroth? I love that. Robbie Single. Don't forget, if you want those 302 casting heads on your way to Joe's for no name, stop by. I do. I did forget. I don't remember this discussion at all. I would love to have those. I need another set of 302s. That's funny. I'm biased, though. I've never talked to Mark. He doesn't have my number. Do you go to the Chinese buffet? It's been a really long time. Scoops Brothers Jeep Rubicon is an 06. It's not a JK. No, it's a late TJ. End of the line TJ, I bet. 1250 in the quarter is respectable. I agree. That's what the Demon would, according to the calculators. And it depends on which one you look at. Most of them actually said 1225, 1230. One said 1250, one said 1260. And I thought I would just, be conservative and say it's mid 12 second car. The car was known to run high 11s in 1975 or 76. But that was with the other engine and a better driver. So Brandon Pixley heard someone say XJ. How's it going? No, we're not starting Dead Volkswagen Garage. Yes, Charlie was in today's video. She is banned from my office. She's never been much of a carpet pooper. From time to time. She's not good on communication. And our dogs are like, they do not like staying outside. They are people dogs. They want to be near us. Charlie is getting on in years, and she's also terrified. She's a scaredy dog and hates children. Anyway, terrified of fireworks. And so all of July, people are still lighting off fireworks like yesterday. Fireworks are going off. And it just scares the poop out of her, literally. She won't go outside. And so she will sneak into whoever's room and poop on the carpet. Specifically carpet. Not something that would be easily cleanable. Carpet. Little bastard. Anyway, Peaky Speech Up. Was that a white shepherd today? It was, yeah, he's a, yes, German shepherd. He's a mutt. White German shepherd. I don't remember what else. A bit of husky, I think. They're all mutts. That is my wife's dog. And by my wife's dog, I mean he's obsessed with her. He's her Velcro dog. You can always tell where she is, like in the house or out of the house, if there's a closed door and he's sitting by it. It's helpful at times. I taught the kids that, like, if you can't find her, look where that dog's sitting. But anyway, he's a good boy. He's a pain. Has never been my favorite, but we're reaching an understanding finally. I have not seen the 318 that Power Nation is building, but that's interesting. Shrimp happens. True. AMC guy would hate to own something with 4 doors. Why? I like 4 doors. They're all mutts. Jamie, DDG animal lover. They are. They're just dogs. Yes, Velcro dog. Yep. Driver's here saying hi. Hi. Yeah. Scoop's cat wants a snack. Mark dropped in a bit ago. He said Butters is doing great. Butters, the 79 Power Wagon. He has done tons of stuff to that truck already. New steering shaft with the new flex joint in it. He says it actually like goes straight now. Steers nice. He put sound deadener and a brand new floor mat in it. I didn't even know they made brand new floor mats. I'm going to get one for the 72. That's all there is to it. Yeah, it's getting places. Yes, yeah, Jeff Hutchins, yeah. I'm a bus driver. My wife is a maid. Our budget is $1 billion. What show made that joke? Was that South Park? We're going to tear down this wall between the kitchen and the dining room to create an open concept. Oh, it's white people renovating houses. Yep. And it's so, like, I saw that before I ever actually watched House Hunters. It's amazing how many episodes they actually do talk about knocking down the wall between the kitchen and the living room to create an open concept. Anyway. Keith Smith says, I have 3 dogs and one likes your show. We watch it together. Nice. Hi, Keith's dog. Dead End Dave watches YouTube on Roku TV. That's what I use my Roku TV for. Snowmonk has a set of legit Day 2 slots from a 70 Coronet RT for his 67 ready charger. That's sick. D1 Menace, your drumming is like Keith Moon, musical genius or world's worst drummer. No one knows. Oh my God. That sure is 4 white German shepherds. Wow, that's creepy. The one on the right looks almost just like Ghost. Yeah, wow. That's amazing. I have to send that to my wife. That's too many. I'm sorry, but that's too many. Someone in my live has 4 ghosts. That's too many ghosts. And in case you're wondering, yes, his name came from Game of Thrones or whatever. Dead Volkswagen Garage. No, we're not making... Yeah, Jeffrey both had the same thing as Jeff Hutchins. It's amazing. I guess this is a common Jeff joke. He's a bee chiropractor. She makes macrame koozies. Their budget, $4 million. Everyone used to love slots, says Barry Kuda. Well, I still do. Some people don't like slots. Well, those people are wrong. House Hunters, when you are in a hotel room with a TV, House Hunters is the thing you watch. There are other shows that are always on in a hotel room and are appropriate. South Park reruns are one. Sometimes there's a Rick and Morty marathon, whatever. But House Hunters, that's just what you do. Yeah, that's so many. I know. Are they all also frantic Velcro dogs? How's your base face? I don't know. Johnny Grassa says you need to do a fleet update. It's a summer thing. It's a Christmas thing, not a summer thing. I do it around every Christmas, New Year. It's like usually around that time, like my back hurts or my face hurts or I just don't want to do anything. And so it's a quick, easy video I can make showing the fleet. So, excuse me. Dave Grohl. Anyway, yeah, State of the Fleet will come this winter. Raymond Cabell is stripping down a 1967 3D3 two-barrel engine. That should have 915 heads. Closed chambers. Small exhaust valves, though. 2013 Viper SRT. That is a lot of money. Good Lord. You know what? That's getting a puke reaction. Anyway. Yeah, Les Schwab's good on fixing flat tires for free, and that's about it. Anyway, that's 67-318. Carbon-coated bores, hardly a ridge, lifters pulled out with 2 fingers. Nice. Sounds like a good one. Sounds like a good one. Jesus. Driver wants to know, is your brother going to make any new videos? Really enjoys vids with Hot Dog. I don't know what the hell that guy's doing. He still owes me a video. It's part of the Duster deal. Did he ever pay me for that car? You're supposed to give me some number of hundreds of dollars that I don't even remember. And 2 videos or 3 videos? I don't remember. Mark, Jamie, did we get the right mufflers? I think so. Chris Greenhill. I'm a YouTuber with 200 subs. She's a TikToker with 300 subs. Our budget is $13.5 million. Mark's wife is hooked on House Hunters. It's fun, dude. It's fun. Sometimes you just want to watch House Hunters. Usually in a hotel room. Forensic Files. My brother's a Forensic Files in the hotel guy. That's, yeah. And I know that because when we stayed in Bend, we had a whatever. There have been situations where we're staying in the same hotel or hotel room, and he is watching Forensic Files. Angela Racino had fun watching you on the Dakota RT. Yes. I think I've read a couple of your comments on that. Are you, by chance, in the past in the live stream? Because that happens sometimes. Jeff R. Would Dead Spiders harm an engine startup? Not really. I was going to pick up a bass because someone said something about slapping the bass. I'm learning. According to Leslie Claypool, what he does isn't actually slap bass, it's thumping and plucking. And I realized that I've kind of been playing 3-finger slap style for a while. Just, I didn't know that's what I was doing. I'm trying to learn to do it right. I'm not there yet, but anyway. Oop. I've been watching videos, trying to like learn stuff to be less bad. Exercises. And does anyone here know who made the first slot mags? Wasn't it Anson? Wasn't the Anson Sprint the original slot mag, or was it not? It's Les Schwab. It is not. Storage Wars is a vastly superior hotel show, says Old Iron. House Hunters is a show you can watch with the sound off and just make it up in your head. Yes. Barracuda has some highly polished 9x15 US Indies. They're beautiful. Cool. Very cool. I wanted to do highly polished slots on the Charger briefly, but I really like the Krager look on that car specifically. Robbie Stingle, membership. Basic membership is $4, I think. Fancy membership, I think, is $7. That's the one that gets you access to the members only chat. And doesn't it do? It does other things. I don't remember. Gold membership is the fancy one. It is expensive, but it gets you one-on-one support from me, which most people that pay for do not use. But I appreciate them anyway. Oop. It's hard when you're not looking at it, or when you're watching yourself backwards in a camera. My wife's hooked on Ancient Aliens. Can't do it. Patrick Ramberg's here. Good morning. How's it going? Can't do the Ancient Aliens. It just, nah. Slot Mags would look sick on the Dart. You are correct. G. Malik says, hi. I can't wait to see the Ram TRX progress. Well, there's some coming. Yeah, I'm getting it. I forget these tuners are backwards. Does yours have a swirly pick guard? Nope. Just white. Straight white. Yeah, after Les Schwab died, it went down the tubes. They have pissed me off just about enough times, I think. Ooh. Unilugs suck. I've never had a problem with Unilugs. I'm not saying you should go like 200 miles an hour on them, but like, yeah, on my camera, my camera shows it normal, which means it's backwards of whatever. If I point this way, I'm pointing the other way on the monitor. Does that make sense? Yeah, Anson Sprint. That's what I thought. Michael O says, so cool to see that, Rick. Yes, this is the one. This is the one I got from Vivian. She said it's an 81. I thought it was a 70, or maybe she's 79. I should pay attention when people talk and give me useful bits of information. Anyway, it's a 4001. It's a late 4001 with the small inlays. And it still has the small neck profile. It does have a weird little lump right here. I don't know if you can see that. Right there. There's a lump in it. That 77 doesn't have the lump. It does have the small inlays. But they were having neck issues. That's actually why they shrank the inlays, was to add the amount of beef wood in the frame fretboard. Anyway, Jamie, do you like Led Zeppelin? Oh. Oh, yeah. I can play this song on every instrument. Not at the same time. Or well. It's hard to do that for as long as John Paul Jones has to do it. Nothing sounds like a Rickenbacker. No, nothing does. And I only run them in the bridge position all day, Wide open through some dirt. It's awesome. I actually have found that this neck pickup is microphonic. So I've started using that only to sing through with a delay. That's all it's for. Scoop is out. I'm going to leave soon. It's probably about that time. Split view. Put pages side by side. I don't want to do that. Oh, they still haven't made an announcement. Interesting. Okay. Well, hopefully they're done at some point. Yes, I like Led Zeppelin quite a bit, actually. Davey504, eat your heart out. I've been watching bass videos on YouTube trying to learn things. He is quite the character. Yeah. I was just going to try and do Davey's voice, but I can't. Does that have dual truss rods? Yes, it does. That's part of why the neck is not so beefy, because the cavity in there is big enough for dual rods. And yeah, there were neck breakage issues, especially with round wounds like the ones I'm using, which is why they started making changes to them in the late 70s. And then the 4003, that's 4003. That was my first one. They made the neck wider, and it's way worse. Jelly bean mags. Yeah, people call them that. Schwab used to have free beef with purchase. True. Sounds like Rock Lobster. It's not actually offset. I'm trying to do at the same time. He plays with a pick. That's really hard with fingers. Or I'm just bad. Anyway. Date code should be on your input jack plate. But they're always worn off. Oh no, that's stamped. Never mind. 4142. It's the stampings that wear off. And then there are date codes on the jacks as well. Rickenbacker date code, jack plate decode. Serial number. If you look on the jack plate. Well, that ain't it. Two letters. Oh. SH. SH 4142. S. Whoops, don't do that. S. 1979. H. August. August 1979. Nice, thanks. Awesome. Rickenbacker's objectively the coolest basses despite their quirks. Agreed! This was like all I ever wanted. Now I have 4 of them. And everyone's leaving because we're talking about basses. Anyway. Scoop says they just built a tire shop called Les Something just down the road. Yeah, probably the Les Schwab. 75 Jared is here. Good day from Oz. Sorry I'm late. How's it going? What do we think of 90s car patina? What kind of patina could a car from the 90s have? How heavy is a Rick? Not bad. Not bad. Excuse me. Yeah, none of mine are very heavy. Fender is another company that killed itself. Welcome to it. Go to the more upscale tire shop. More Schwab. Davey504, the bass guy, infiltrates DDG. That would be fun. Okay. I knew that was coming. 6 people in a row said 90s patina is flaked off clear coat. And I was going to say something about on a Dodge 90s car patina is there's just no paint. Someday I'll learn how to play. I get that. What I don't get is all the crazy percussive popping noises that happen in between. I can't. It just... How? How does he do it? Oh, I wrote a song. What was it? Was that it? I don't know. No one saw that Scoop left or ate all the corn dogs. Next Beatle video. I'm not planning to do a Beatle video. I don't want to. It doesn't need anything except breaks. Ah! Chords are hard. Dodge Girl also slaps the bass. Nice. I did not slap the bass until recently. I've always played with my thumb. I play with both thumbs. This is one of my favorite parts I've written. And that's 3-finger and using the thumb, which is wrong, but it just works so well. Hudson video. I need to work on that. I got to get Mark's car out of the way. This is on the upcoming Morning Orange album, which has a name now. It's Night Terror. Do you ever drop by Dylan McCool's channel? I've watched a few of his videos, but it's not my scene, man. Hudson video, yeah, soon, I hope. I need to get that done. Good night, Dan Orca. Thanks for being here. I was going to say something else. What was it? I don't know. Steve Henson says, I have to admit I'm a bass picker. I used to be one as well. And then I decided one day I have to play fingerstyle. So I did that. And now we're here. And someday I'll be okay. I hope. Super 62 FPV wants to see that black pickup, dude. Me too. We need some geezer riffs. To play geezer, I have to detune my bass. What about the 361 and the 57 cornet? Exactly. What about it? I need to maybe work on that car at some point, but still no announcement. Interesting. Interesting. No Beatle video. I am not planning to do a Beatle video. It doesn't need anything, and it wouldn't get any views. Yeah. Oh, overbuilt. No, need a plug for guitar so we can hear it in its fullness. I used to run all the sound for the live stream through this mixer, and I would do that from time to time, but I don't anymore, so I don't. I have 2 amps right here. I have an entire wall of amplifiers right here, and that is why I don't plug the bass in and I just play it, because I have a sense of humor. It's also why I own professional audio equipment. I have this entire time. I have like a recording studio, and I know how to like make things sound good. So instead of using any of that for YouTube, I use an iPhone mic. Something irony. Anyway, what are we doing this week, Brain? Same thing we do every week, Pinky. Try to take over the world. Mohawk 62 is back. Finished dinner. Nice. Stephen Andrews, yes, I still need a push-button shift cable for the 57. I got one for a B body, but I think it's too short. Yes, the Uncle Tony video where they fired the drag strap in his shop is it's great, eh? It's great. I don't tap. I have no interest in it. But that does sound like Claypool. Okay. Wednesday is a poly video. Sunday will be something else. I don't know what yet. I have no idea. Something. Oh, cool. Dano is posting up his guitar collection. Ibanez, interesting. The 5-string jazz. You posted that before, right? My buddy Kyle, who's the bassist in my first band, had that exact 5-string. Exactly that. Yeah. You bring the cheese. How about a mail truck video? No, I quit. Neon versus Beetle? What is the... What's the Beetle gonna win? Overbuilt said, like the last truck on DDG, the small truck V8, yep, Dakota. All it needed to be perfect was a 6-speed. I'd be okay with a 5-speed. Jamie, have you tried the phone neck holder? I have... Yeah, so you're saying no Beetle video? I have... Stop it. I have every type of phone holder you could imagine. I have a helmet holder, wrist holder. I have a chest mount. I have 3 tripods. I have a magnet mount. I have 3 window mounts. And I don't use any of them, and I like it that way. I have no interest in filming every bit of tinkering with a car. That's not what the channel is. It's just not that. Neil Pert's good. We've discussed my feelings on Rush, and we're not going to do it again because I'll make people mad. Anyway, Midnight Mechanic has a Dakota 360 Mag 2-wheel drive 5-speed. Heavily recommend. That sounds sick. Someday. Rush fans can be, yeah. Is there going to be a No Name Jam session again this year? I hope so. Yes, Primus likes Rush. I know. We'll come out of breath. Won't stop going away too slow down. That's the wrong key. Beetle's way faster than Perky. That's what I got. Okay, I'm gonna leave. And the crippling madness. Yeah, the Dakota Rivet thing was an absolute debacle. I hated every minute of it. Anyway, I still don't know what next week's video is going to be, but we're all going to find out together, so. I'm your captain. I'm your captain. CL Denny, what do you think about running a return line to a stock fuel sending unit? I've done it. It's kind of a pain. There's not much room. They also make them with return line fittings, so you could just get one of those. Okay, I'm done. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Thanks to our new members, and thank you for the super chat, Robbie. Appreciate that. I will see you in the comments. I will see you on Discord. Don't forget to join the Discord. Unless you don't want to, in which case, don't. And I'll see you next Sunday. But I'll be late. I'll be late next Sunday, probably. So until then, bye-bye. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Cheers.